Hi, everybody. Welcome to the program. My guest today burst into show business at the tender age of 11 and was quickly dubbed the sweetheart of the steel guitar. Millions of fans came to adore this little lady, and she soon became one of the most famous singers on our planet. Now, despite having to deal with a tragic car crash and its awful aftermath, she's back. She's still an old-fashioned country girl. Her story is chronicled in the best-selling book, Get to the Heart, which has just come out in paperback. Let's give a warm and big city welcome to the talented and the beautiful Barbara Mandrell. Barbara Mandrell!
Thank you so much.
Get a shot of the sign up there. Get a shot of that. How do you feel when you get a reaction this warm and this toasty?
Well, it's just truly impossible to describe how you feel when somebody extends love to you, and that is love and energy. I like this. This is a great group.
When you get the love and you get the energy, can you even recall those dark days following that accident when you were considering retiring?
I can recall them right now because you brought it up, but it's not on my mind at that moment. I'm just thinking, yes, I love this.
You know, I've met your sisters. You're the missing link in the family.
Louise loves you. Erlene loves you. But girls, where's my close-up camera? I'm here. I'm here now. I'm with them now.
You know, your songs are so different from your real life, I find, as I read your book. I mean, married but not to each other. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I mean, I expected to find a life story of someone who knew all about the first person cheating and lying and stealing and getting the other girl's man, and your guy going, I mean, how do you...
I do know all about it.
How do you know?
For the 3 minutes I'm singing it, I'm living every word of it, and it's very real to me. And, you know, that's something that goes on a lot. And that's, I think, the beauty to me of country music and R&B music. To me, even though I would think, I have found that a lot of people think that they're very different. They're not very different. I think, yeah, it's a feel thing. The feeling is different than the style, but the lyric and the melody and so many of the country and R&B tunes are very, very close because they just shoot straight ahead and tell it very simply. I think very profound lyrics in their simplicity. And so I borrowed some R&B tunes that you mentioned and did them country. And I was very, very proud of that. They did very well for me. You know, #1 records that did it just extremely well, and I'm most grateful.
Your husband's name is Ken. You're Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie and Ken.
Is it a Ken and, was it at least before the accident, a kind of Ken and Barbie existence? Was it really? I know you were childhood sweethearts.
We're just very sort of normal people. We have, which I'm very honest and candid in our book about, we love each other so much, but we also fight real well. And the making up is real fun.
Are you fighting more now than you did? Do you divide your life pre-accident and post-accident? Is that kind of the...
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Yeah, I do, because there are some things that I don't have any recollection of, no memory. Not a lot, thank you, God, but some. And someone will start to speak to me about, do you remember when we did this? And I don't, and then they start to talk about it, and it does start to come back to me. And so, yeah, in a way I do.
I want to go back to the Ken and Barbie existence, but I just remembered Dottie West, the famed country singer who recently obviously involved in a tragic and fatal car crash. Did that bring back all your bad memories?
Well, yes. but most of all, my mind was just on our tremendous loss, losing her. Dottie, I saw her very, very, very rarely, I'm sorry to say. But, you know, a lot of people think that the business we're in, we just see each other all the time. All of us, you know, we don't. We're very busy people, and we treasure the moments we do get to spend together. But she was always such a very special woman, as well as being a very special talent, but a very special woman, and so it hurt me quite deeply. I had wanted to go see Dottie because she had had some very difficult happenings in her life in recent times.
She had the IRS thing and a bunch of other things.
And I just wanted to go see her and visit with her, or have her come over and have lunch with me at home or something where we could just talk and I could tell her. I just wanted to say to her how great she was and how much I loved her and how much she means to people. And now I don't have that chance, you know, and for that I'm very sorry. And within one day of that, my oldest child, Matthew's, this is still so fresh, my oldest son, Matthew's girlfriend, who of all the girls he's ever dated, was the only one that I've never shared this with him, but she's the only one that I ever saw through my mind and my heart as a future daughter. I loved her that much. She was so special. And on her way driving to college, within one day of Dottie's accident, she was killed in a car wreck. And it's been so very hard, I know, with my pain and sorrow. I know it's nothing compared to Matthew's and her mother's and father's, but it's all, I'll just say very quickly, seat belts. That's the only reason that I am alive and my children are alive. Truly, it truly is.
You actually are involved in public service campaigns for seat belts and things like that?
The only thing after the accident, it's not just some show business, hey, that's dramatic, say, I'm not Barbara Mandrell anymore, but I wasn't Barbara Mandrell anymore. I would refer to her in the third person, like I just did then, her, and she did this, and that was her, it's not me. And I was never going to perform again, never. I just wanted just to exist, and so the only thing that would be sort of in terms of being a celebrity, something that one might do, that I asked to do, I said, I want to either make some public service announcements or do a poster, or, which I did all of those, concerning seatbelts, because I was not at all a seatbelt user, at all.
You were just lucky that day?
No, I'm a very devout Christian, and so people can think what they want to think, but I know what I know, what I know. And I have shared this before, but we saw about 15 minutes before we were hit head-on, my son and my daughter and I saw a station wagon with the tailgate down with little children playing in the back, which is such a dangerous sight, at a red light. And it was just very tense, and it was so unlike me. And my children even share that when I interviewed them for a portion of the book. They couldn't believe I said it either, but God gave us a chance to live because I said, let's put on our seatbelts, then we'll be safe. And my sister Louise is the only one. You couldn't ride with her ever without wearing your seatbelt. And I would gripe, this is going to wrinkle my clothes. Why do I have to do this? If there's a wreck, I want to get out. You know, stupid things. So perhaps that's why I am a good person to speak for it, because I was so against it. And I don't want anybody telling me what I have to do, and yet I went to our state legislature. You know, New York, I believe, was the first
to make it mandatory. I don't remember which was first.
Well, I had all these statistics.
You're such a little person.
I know, really. The only thing big about me, which I shared with your audience before, is my mouth and my feet.
No. What size are your feet? Let's get a foot shot.
Oh, boy. My mother will die. You notice I had my leather shoes dyed to match my suit. I wanted to look nice on Geraldo's show.
That they match.
Okay? But they were new. I had not had them on yet. And I normally will buy a 7.5 or 7, depends on who makes it. There are 5 Kleenex in these shoes.
That's cute.
So they wouldn't fall off when I had to walk down your stairs.
like those blocks they put on the pedals for kids, isn't it? You said...
I'm so glamorous. I'm sorry, I'm
you're a doll. You're really very easy on the eye, very pretty, and your music is sensational. So what do you and Ken fight about when you fight?
Oh, lots. The children, my work, his work. He's a college student again.
I heard that.
And I have to respond in the right ways to his compositions and such, you know.
You help him with his homework?
Oh, really? Yeah, sure. Our last night's dinner conversation before we flew to New York, my daughter, Jamie, is 15 and a sophomore, and she's in Algebra 2. I never took algebra. You only had to have general math to get through high school. When I went to school, I don't know now. And I just told her, I'm so proud of what you're doing, and Ken is the brain. He was the calculus, the physics, you know, he's quite good at all of that. I'm good at things he's not good at, but he's good at lots I'm not good at. And I let him know when I'm better at things than he is.
I bet you do.
But it's okay. For me, please, I really try to tell people, college now is like high school used to be. I think one really needs college now. Because our job market, it's a tough place. But for
what'd you fight about? What'd you fight?
No,
was it Sunday night dinner?
Let me think of an example.
Oh, I thought you had to fight just...
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, he started poking fun at, oh, yes, when your mother took chemistry, or, you know, because she's taking that now. And he was just poking fun at me. I said, you know, I just finished a month's tour. I'm leaving again tonight. I'm working hard at what I do. I don't want to hear it. I mean, it's just small stuff. The least little thing will irritate me, and I'll snap back, because he is, and I know he's going to watch this show.
Hi, Kenny. Hi.
He is, and I hate to say such nice things, but he's truly, he is a man that is very self-assured. He is a very special man that can be my husband.
It takes a guy that with a lot of
yes.
You know,
he likes being Mr. Mandrell because he does, because he truly, we dated since I was 14 and he was 22. And then, you know, we married when I was 18, but he went through everything with me of getting you all to know my name and to know my work. And it wasn't easy, you know,
So he's the only man you've ever been with?
No, I've dated other men.
When? When you were 12? I've got to take a break anyway. You can tell me your whole romantic history. Barbara Mandrell, her story, the focus of this edition of Her All Day.
I'll see you with a can. Loving you is wrong. I don't want to be raised.
You know, Cindy, the producer of this segment, said in the commercial break, the reason people are surprised that you're so little is that your presence on stage is so big. And just like in singing that song, you don't come across as 5'2".
Well, thank you.
5'2", eyes of blue. Am I the first man that ever said that?
No, but I like it. Thank you.
You're born on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Is that right? Oh, right. Yeah. But the funny thing is, her mother's name is Mary, right?
And, yes, and then my father goes on to say that he's a wise man.
Oh, not a carpenter. No. So,
no, he's my manager.
Your manager,
yes.
Your manager. Yes. So is he, your dad is your manager.
Yes.
Your husband is now out of the Air Force and he's in college full-time?
No, Navy, please.
Navy, sorry. Navy flyer, though.
I love Air Force, but he was a Navy pilot.
Right. And he's a full-time college student. You have 3 kids.
Well, he's also a businessman, but he goes to college 2 days a week.
Oh, 2 days a week.
Yeah, and it won't, you know, it won't enhance his businesses any. It will just, he wants it for himself, well, and I'm very proud of that.
Sure.
I think that's
There's
great.
a lot of pride involved in that. You have
and by the way, I read, I'm impressed. You're an attorney.
I am an attorney, yeah.
I'm impressed.
Really? I don't know. My son has a joke about attorneys. I'll tell it very quickly because I tell jokes so badly. He said, you know what roadkill is when you see an animal? He said, what's the difference between roadkill and lawyer roadkill? It's the brake marks, the skid marks in front of the animal roadkill. There's none in front of the lawyers.
Oh, no.
Do you get it? Did I?
Oh, no.
Usually they need a road map to get it.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Matthew's 22.
21.
21. And what's Matthew doing?
Matthew goes to Belmont University, and that's where his father goes.
Oh,
and
so are they in the same class?
He instructs cheerleaders. That's a very tough job.
Oh, yes, really. Sounds like a talk show to me.
Oh, it's a hard job for him, I'm sure, but somebody has to do it, you know. And he also is a jeweler. He makes beautiful jewelry.
Does he make any for Mom?
Not yet.
So Matthew's watching, too. Get the word out to him. And Jamie, your sweetheart?
Is a cheerleader, and she's a really sweet, I think, pretty girl. She used to be, when she was 5 years old, on Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters, our series that we had. When they played the part of we three girls as little girls, they had actresses, and Jamie got the part as little Earlene. And I was very proud. I was very proud.
Why did you go off the air with that show? It was so popular.
Thank you. This book is the first time I ever really discussed it in detail, but
the book, again, I just want to remind you, it's out in paperback. Get to the Heart.
Thank you.
You can also tell me where the title comes from.
From a song of mine that Nora Wilson wrote that was a hit for me called Get to the Heart, and I liked, because that's what that book felt like.
Hum me
to me.
one bar. 2 bars.
I'm at Westbury here in New York in November.
Okay.
I forgot your question.
We were talking about Jamie.
Okay, she was wonderful on the show, and when she auditioned...
Oh, we were talking about the TV show and being canceled. That's what...
Yes.
I interrupted myself.
But anyway, I was going to say the Statler brothers were with us that week when she got the job, and we were in pre-record. And when her governess walked in, Kathy Brown, she says, Jamie got the part. And Harold Reed, the comedian of the Statler brothers, says, now how many of you didn't think Jamie would get the part? Okay. But she was wonderful. And then my little Nathan, I don't want to leave him out. He just turned 6 this month. So,
and I want to get this right. Now, Nathan was conceived after the accident?
Yes.
So you carried him with those injuries you had?
No, we were praying and wanting a baby from April of 1984. And I just wasn't blessed with a baby. And then the accident happened in September. And so after the fact, a few months later, when I was with my husband again, I said, it's a good thing we didn't have a baby, because I can't take care of me. How could I take care of a baby? And I still, you know, with the cast and the crutches and tailbone problems. And
you used to have a lot of fun in bed.
And oh me. And so then I was pregnant.
That's wonderful. But
So
then you
God
had to
knows.
you were carrying a child with a cast and hobbling around.
My tailbone was x-rayed, and I went straight from there, from the neurosurgeons, told me to go to my gynecologist, because sometimes it could cause pain, you know, at that kind of an impact. Maybe female problems, maybe something was damaged, you know. So I went straight from the x-ray of the tailbone over and found out that I was, to quote my doctor, Newt Lovern, he said, you're either pregnant or you have tumors. And I had both. I had fibroid tumors. And,
oh, you did?
Which I tell of.
So other than did they, I don't know how it works mechanically, but did they take the tumors out right then and then monitor it during the course of the pregnancy? Or?
Well, I tell in here, maybe I can say, I was full of fibroid tumors, and so I have cesarean section, and so Dr. Lovern, when I gave birth to Nathaniel at that time, oh boy, I hate talking so personal. He took my uterus, and so I have everything else, but I don't have that. Boy, I hate saying this.
How's Nathaniel doing?
It's Nathaniel, you know, is gift of God, and he is. He truly is. He is so full of love for everyone, and we pray together at night, and it's a very wonderful thing, mothers. When you pray with your child, you learn a lot of things, and you learn what you need to help them and teach them about, and you also have your heart touched in a very sweet way. And he has been the most uplifting to all of us, to Ken, to me, and to Matthew and to Jamie. And since Matthew and Jamie were of the age they were, we let them help select the name, and Matthew chose the name Nathaniel. And then Ken was so sweet to let me give him my maiden name as his middle name, so he's Nathaniel Mandrell Dugny, and that pleases me a lot.
I know that you feel sorry sometimes that you didn't spend more time mothering the first two. With Nathaniel, have you changed that?
I use every minute I've got for everything. If I'm working, I'm jumping in with both feet and my body. I'm there. If I'm being a mother or a wife, I'm there. My first two, just like I have with Nathaniel, from birth, they traveled the road with me.
They were on the road also?
Until they got into school where they could no longer
Is that what the story came out about, Jamie being raised in a cardboard box in the tabloids?
Yes.
Wait, I got to take a break, then you can tell that story.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Barbara Mandrell.
If I'm in love, I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. Well, I'll give you anything, my friend, that'll make you feel alright. I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love.
Our guest today, Barbara Mandrell, singing a duet there with Dolly Parton. So how do you like working with Dolly? I mean, is she one of your favorites? I don't know.
She is an extraordinary woman. She truly is. She's so, I'm not trying to be silly. I'm telling you the truth. Have you met her?
I don't think I've ever met Dolly, no.
Truly, her face is so, don't anybody laugh now, I'm not making a joke. Her face is so beautiful that it's very hard, truly, to take your eyes off of her face, even though her body is not to be believed. It's so gorgeous, but her body, when she did that, our series with me, we did one number where I dressed up like her. You know the dress she was just wearing?
I think, do you have that clip?
Are you doing
Why don't you
that?
show it as Barbara tells the story?
And, well,
Go ahead.
You just, well, I was going to tell you, there.
Look at her, there she is.
You see?
Oh, do tell. Oh, hi, Dolly. Oh, hi, Dolly. What do you got in there, your sisters?
I don't know, does that cause any envy? I don't know.
Oh, of course. I wanted to share with you, that dress was made, you know, to copy hers. She gave us the wig. She combed, and when she was standing backstage, you know how we women sometimes will touch our hair or do something? If she'd do that, she'd turn to me and do it so that we would match, and she cared so much. And my makeup artist, Bobby Joy, we copied everything, you know, because she's done both of us. And it was wonderful, her attitude of it. At any rate, my costume designer, Bill Hargate, this is true. I had an undergarment the size of hers, you know, because I had to be identical. And they filled it in. Totally. And
with lots and lots of material.
Very total, yes, totally. And even then, when I dressed and we put it all on, we had, you know those hand towels that are terry cloth hand towels? We had to fold and wrap and put one of those underneath too, to make me fit the dress that was the exact, and the bra.
Didn't you have a similar story involving President Jimmy Carter? I mean, not that you were wearing his clothes, but you had a dress that was too big for you, and...
Oh, yeah.
Is this a theme in your life? I mean,
No,
tell us briefly. I want to find out about the paper box, but tell us.
Which do you want?
Jimmy
President
Carter.
Okay. I had met President Carter at the White House, and then I performed on a show that the Country Music Association did in Washington, D.C., and it was on short notice again to go do it, and so I had some of my folks pull out a gown that I remembered that I'd had from 3 or 4 years before. I said, that'll do. They won't remember. Get that. Well, I had dropped a little weight again, and first place, So it's my own gown that Bill made for me, right? But I can't fill it out. So I borrowed one of Bobby Joy's powder puffs to try it, and it worked great, the large puff. So I took 2 of those, and it worked great. And I sang for the president with those. Well, then, once he had left office, one time my father had received a call. He came, it was Penn State, I was doing a concert, and he wanted to come to the concert. So the Secret Service, and they went through all this. Anyway, I did my performance, and afterwards he wanted to meet with me and his people and everything. So my band and all of us, we had this wonderful opportunity to meet with him and visit in this room at Penn State. And so it was crowded, everybody was there, and I love our presidents, all of our presidents, because I'm a very patriotic person. And so anyway, he was trying to give me the only chair that was, I said, no, sir, you sit there. And I just immediately curled up and sat on the floor and plopped myself down. So I'm sitting in the floor looking up at him talking. And we visited a while, and before it was over, I told him, I said, you remember that show we did? And I told him what happened, and that I had to, and I said, the only thing I was worried about was one of the girls, because we shared a lot of us in a dressing room, they said, what are you going to do if you take a bow and one falls out? I said, well, I could just pick it up, powder my nose, and throw it to the president. And he thought that was all so funny, bless his heart. And I told my mother when I got home, and she said, well, leave it to one of my girls to tell the President of the United States, something like that,
Barbara Mandrell will be right back. The winner of 9 People's Choice Awards. There is, live and in the flesh, Barbara Mandrell. Barbara has a brand new CD coming out. Keys in the Mailbox. Keys in the Mailbox, her latest CD, now available at a record store near you.
May I tell you
Sure.
that CD, and I was very flattered. I heard you took the CD that was sent to you home last night.
And I forgot to bring it back because I was listening to it. I was in the pool yesterday.
But you don't know how that thrilled me. I thank you. I am really, really proud. I'm more proud of that than I know how to say, because it was a real new experience for me. Jimmy Bowen, Capitol Records president, produced it, and his thing is he has his artist. With the A&R person, you go to all these different publishers. I think Jenny West, my A&R person, and I went to 26 publishers, days and days and hours and listening. And after you select the material, then you have to come up with the arrangements and the instrumentation. And it was just so, I've never been so involved. And I'm excited about that album. I truly am.
You should be.
Thank
you should be proud of it. Okay, now this cardboard box. With things so tough, I thought you were really on top, and here I hear you're raising your kid in a cardboard box in the car.
Well, it was Matthew. When Matthew was a baby, I left to go on the road in the hospital. Baptist Hospital is where my other 2 were born, but this hospital in Madison, Tennessee, Nashville Memorial had these little boxes that are like little bassinets out of cardboard with the handles where you can lift them up and down. And they have these real cute little things, a measuring design. And if it's a little boy, they're blue. And if it's a little girl, they're pink. They were really cute. So it had a little mattress in it. That made a wonderful thing to put on the bus and use for a baby bed. And it fit. At that time, my father was not only my manager, but he drove the bus, and he played rhythm guitar and sang with me. And so anyway, it would go right behind Dad's seat. And I just thought that was really sweet and really cute to have this little thing for him. And I was sharing it with someone one time, and it came out in the tabloids. I was forced to keep my baby in a cardboard box. And so my daughter, Jamie, later, someone was speaking of it. And out of the blue, she just said, Mama, did you have to keep me in a cardboard box, too?
That's cute.
You know, people believe the innocence they believe.
Yes, Barbara, a few years ago, I had the privilege of visiting your museum in Nashville, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. I felt like I knew you personally when I was finished. Have you updated it since the accident?
Oh, yes. I quite often go update the museum because it's a living museum, okay? I mean,
does one of your sisters have her own museum with your wrecked car in it? Did I read that?
Yes,
with your silver Jaguar?
Erlene.
Erlene has that? Golly. Well, have you been to her museum? Have you seen your car?
I only saw it when I wanted to make a poster for seatbelts, and so Ken took me to see the car. I knew I would have to see it before I went to take a picture with it, and then
there it is. I mean, she's really lucky. When you look at that driver's side, this is a lucky lady to be sitting there at all.
There was no room, literally none, for me from the waist down. So I have problems with my knee and with my ankle.
I was going to ask you if you have any recurring injury.
And it's okay. I remember really a very vivid memory of what it looked like when I first looked in where I was. And at least I know when it hurts, at least I still got it. I still have my legs, and I can dance, and I can, you know.
And you look marvelous, darling.
Thank you.
I've got to take another break. Give us and your questions. Barbara Mandrell, we'll be right back.
Pearl Award is a great performer and has made time for others. Barbara Mandrell.
Mandrell sister. That was Erlene on the left, Louise on the right, and of course Barbara in the middle. You know, you had Nathaniel, the miracle baby. Your sisters have had a tough time with children, having children. Like Erlene, what was her story?
Erlene and Rick miscarried with their first baby at, I think it was 6 or 6.5 months. I was in town when she lost it, and she was in labor for 11.5 hours, and she was so strong, and we would pray, and she was just remarkable. I have no idea how she was that strong. And Louise was not able to have I never hate to say the positive, who knows, but was never able to have a baby. And they adopted, I have the most precious, sweet, wonderful little niece, Nicole, that looks and acts like Louise. Heaven help us, but she's just like Louise.
Are you close with your sisters now?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Erlene is my next-door neighbor. My husband and I bought a valley, and we built a log home in the back of the valley. And my husband, that's one of his businesses. He builds log homes. And he built the log home. Rick and Erlene contracted him to build their home. And they have a lovely log home right next door. They bought 5.5 acres of our land next door. And Louise lives 9 minutes, 10 minutes from us.
I want to go back to the period immediately following. I know the audience has a lot of questions, so I'm hogging the microphone here because I'm so curious about, you know, you're strong.
I notice you keep asking about Louise and Erlene, but go ahead.
I know. I mean, they're lovely as you all are. Your mother must be gorgeous.
My daughter?
Your mom.
Oh, my mom. We think she's beautiful.
Yeah, she must be. Throw a shot out there, Jim Bob, if you can find one. Get one from the book. There you go. Yes, she is. She is very lovely.
We always say we're glad that we look more like Mom than we do Dad.
Often the case, often the case. The period immediately following the accident, and you were pretty frank about this in the book, you did become kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say hard, but certainly a bit demanding, maybe. I mean,
I was worse than hard and demanding. But you must appreciate...
Bitchy? I mean, I don't know.
Well, you know, this is an important thing you're discussing now, because I know for a fact already, you know, when my book was out in hardback, I didn't think anybody'd read it. And it was the hardest project I ever had in my life.
A bestseller, by the way.
Well, I found out about 4.5 months ago that it was the 12th biggest selling nonfiction book in 1990, and I didn't think anybody would read it, so I don't give any credit to me. I just... all the praise for that goes to God. And George Vesey that wrote it with me, I thank him. But at any rate, they give you, you know, when you go to paperback, they let you write an additional chapter, which I did. But once the book was out and people were actually buying it and reading it, so many people would come up to me and tell me, and I mean more often than not, excuse me, with tears, how that book helped them, because through my determination and my demanding spirit I was having with myself, and through God helping me do it, it helped people because I was so honest about everything that happened with the head injury. Because up till that book, no one knew that I had had a serious head injury. And I just say, unless it happens to you or someone very close to you, you really don't know. Because people, you know how we always use the expression, I love you with all my heart, or from the bottom of my heart, or get to the heart, or you broke my heart, because that's kind of pretty to say. I love you with all my brain, from the bottom of my brain, Geraldo. You know, it just doesn't sound as good. But in my opinion, our brain is us. And when you hurt the brain and it's recuperating, hopefully, you're a different person. And so I was, and you have...
Was it a Jekyll and Hyde kind of
thing? Oh, very. You have extreme, what do they call them, mood swings. Over nothing. I'd be so, oh, Jamie, I can't believe you dressed yourself so beautifully. And I would go on and on and on and on. You know, I'm laying in bed and she walks in and I see her. Or, don't you dare set that Coca-Cola on this table. I mean, and I would just get irate over nothing.
I'm so glad that you're well.
I'm thankful. I am. I'm my old ornery self.
Be right back.
For free tickets to the Geraldo Show, write Geraldo Tickets, 524 West 57th Street, New York, New York, 10019. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope or call 212-265-1283.
We are back with the winner of 9 People's Choice Awards, a lady who has sold millions of records and a best-selling author to boot, Barbara Mandrell. Yes.
Barbara, what are some of the little things that you really enjoy doing around the house, and do you really put peanuts in your Coke?
Yeah, I do.
Peanuts in your Coke?
See, there are a lot of Northerners that don't even know of that. You take your bottle of Coke and you just pour your package of peanuts down it, and when you drink it, they come out once in a while in your mouth as you... It's wonderful.
Doesn't it bubble up in your nose and stuff?
But when I'm home, I love to cook. I really do love to cook, and we love to camp, and we do that annually, and we love to snow ski, and I love to just do little things around the house, like of saying, let's play this game or that game, or let's eat together, watch TV. Just nothing things really excite me.
How were you introduced to R&B, and who are your favorite artists?
Well, I just grew up loving... I could win Name That Tune for the $100,000. I mean, of old songs that were 20, 40 years before I was born. I just love music so much. If it's good music, it's like Duke Ellington said, there's 2 kinds of music, good and bad. And George Benson. My first song I recorded was Otis Redding's song. Aretha Franklin. They don't come any better. They just don't. Whitney Houston. Oh, so many. I'm sorry. I'm drawing.
Hi, Barbara. We represent the New Jersey Country Music Association.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a nice hat?
Thank you. We'd like to thank you for the contribution you've made to country music.
Thank you.
We would like to make you an honorary member of our organization.
Well, that would be a
And we have a
honor.
T-shirt here for you.
You go give it to her. Here, I'm going to get another question. Yes.
Thank you so much. You're lovely.
You wear it in good health.
Thank you. God bless you.
Barbara, I apologize if I'm being too personal, but I wanted to find out if the doctors ever found that it was because of the tumors that you weren't unable to get pregnant.
She got pregnant. She had a baby.
But after it had taken some time, you said?
It was interesting. You know, there again, my faith is very real, and I have a very personal relationship with Christ Jesus. And with Jamie, I knew I had to have her in January or February because that was the only time I could afford to have her. That was the least busy of our bookings. And so I had her in February. And it was, I'm trying to think of an easy and nice way to say, it wasn't difficult for us to conceive. And it just didn't happen the third time. But I know that that's because God knew I couldn't be pregnant and have that baby live through that accident. And I know God, He gives us the desires of our heart. And I wanted that baby. And so when I thought I shouldn't even have a baby anymore, when I was in such bad physical condition and bedridden and all of that for like 18 months, I was pregnant anyway. When it was right, God let it be. You know, the Creator lets you know when He'll let you have the life.
Congratulations. We'll be right back. Have already discovered an intimate account of an incredible life, not only the first rush of success, but also coming back after that near fatal car crash, now available in paperback with a whole new chapter about what's happened since. And the CD that I spent all yesterday listening to, Keys in the Mailbox, Barbara Mandrell. It's really delightful. I mean, I recommend it highly. Now, Joanne, you have worked with Barbara for how long?
Yes, we've been together 11 years.
Is she back to her regular old self?
I would say 100%, absolutely. She's got more energy probably now and more determination even than before the accident. So.
But you must have all been so worried.
There's no question about it. I think it was such a scare, and unless you've been there, as Barbara said, you're just not, you can't even imagine what it's like to have somebody that you love and care for in that condition.
But she is back, a delightful lady. Thank you so much for being on the program. Barbara Mandrell, ladies and gentlemen.